Hello and welcome to or back to my channel. I am Kit, your friendly feminist cat lady spinster, and today we're going to remind ourselves that Paul and Morgan are still Paul and Morgan, no matter how progressive and awesome they looked on Jesse Lee Peterson's show. So Billie Eilish, and for those who don't know, such as myself, Billie Eilish is a 19-year-old singer-songwriter from LA, recently performed in Austin, Texas, and she had some things to say about the abortion ban recently enacted there. And Paul and Morgan decided that was demonic, because of course they did. And they decided to make a 36-minute video about it. I did put their video on 1.5 speed because there's only so long I can listen to these two. So we're going to have a listen of their commentary and a few questions they answer at the end. So grab a hot or cold beverage of your choice and let's get into it.
I think we're both just like, you can sense positive life and joy coming out of us, even though the topic at hand truly is troubling. But we got the joy of the Lord down in our souls, baby. So
I got the joy down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart.
All right. But nevertheless, probably we should be a little more sober. So three.
Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to help myself when I hear this video, so.
Right. But Morgan already knows what they're going to talk about, so wouldn't she already be thinking about that and feeling pretty somber?
3, 2, 1, sober. All right. So today's topic is
Oh, dear.
Billie Eilish goes on demonic pro-abortion rant.
So first off, demonic, way to be overdramatic. And second off, it wasn't pro-abortion. The only way for it to have been pro-abortion was for her to have been encouraging people to have abortions, which she did not do.
At her Texas concert. We saw someone in the live chat already ask about this, so let's address it. They said, why did you guys use demonic? Like, was there something she said that was demonic? How did that go about? When I was titling this video and I asked Morgan, I said, Morgan, is it all right for me to use demonic in the title? And
I said, if this is not demonic, I don't know what is. Like, the way she was just carrying herself on that stage, her, like, I don't even know what to call it other than, like, a little 8-year-old brat throwing a fit.
Okay, so is she an 8-year-old brat throwing a fit, or is she possessed by demons? Because it seems to me there's a big difference between the two.
But it was, like, straight up demonic throwing a fit.
Okay, so clearly she is an 8-year-old possessed by demons.
Like, and that's kind of harsh, but, like, this is just wild. When you guys hear this, it's wild.
And I don't want to throw around giant clickbaity,
No.
just, shocking type words.
So then why did you? I have to admit, whenever I see titles like this coming from Paul and Morgan, I automatically assume it's actually not as bad as what they try to claim it is. I understand, that you want people to click on your videos, but when you overuse words like demonic, evil, whatever else, it just loses its effectiveness.
It's evil.
Unless they're warranted. And I was just thinking about it. I'm like, what she's saying, the way she's saying it, the cursing, it's like
the anger.
What is she talking about here? Mm-hmm. She's talking about we should be able to kill babies, and you all, specifically, she says, old men, get away from us.
Actually, what Billie says about men is, I am so sick and tired of old men in general, sorry, but old ones especially. Shut the up about our bodies. So, yeah, she doesn't say anyone to stay away from women or to get off women. She just wants them to stop talking about women's bodies and making laws about it because, well, I mean, obviously Paul has never been a frustrated teenage woman, so I guess it's understandable that he doesn't understand Billie's frustration, but then perhaps he shouldn't be talking about it. You would think that, well, I know that they're having infertility issues, so perhaps that's why Morgan's empathy toward women who are pregnant when they don't want to be, can't be, just isn't there, but this still feels like a video they could have passed on making. Actually, that kind of is most of their videos.
Get off of us. Like, let's just start playing it and we'll give commentary throughout. The clip is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's just get started.
We could make it to where I could, like, pop it up on the screen while we're live, but I just don't feel like being that tech savvy, so we're just going to play it from our phone.
Play it from our phone. The main thing is that you can hear what she's saying.
Yeah.
We will kind of cover our faces and hold it up so you can kind of see, but I may not full width showing you guys my phone, literally.
But you can go watch it. We'll link this below. After this video, you can go watch it. It's 2-minute, 27-second clip, and Planned Parenthood is the one who posted it.
Well, that's what's kind of just crazy about this is you have people like us that are playing this clip and saying, look how just troubling. And I know that Billie Eilish, she's never claimed to be a Christian. There are plenty of people who do claim to be Christians that hold these same type of views.
Yeah.
But she hasn't. But nevertheless, because there are plenty of Christians that like Billie Eilish.
That would go to her concert.
So, I mean, she's one of the biggest names in music. This is relevant. This is worth talking about. The Texas abortion stuff has been very at front and center. And here's what I was thinking before we play the clip. Like, you have so many what I would just consider naive people, even some Christians that are like just kind of observing the way that the media is talking about it. Maybe their friends at school and work are talking about abortion and how this is like going back to the dark ages and Handmaid's Tale. And they're like, yeah, this is bad what Texas is doing. Get off of women's bodies. Let women live. They're controlling us. Men are controlling women. And we're just wanting to shed some biblical truth and life and light onto this.
Yeah, because if there's one thing that we need in the United States, it's biblical truth.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this. Here we go. Billie Eilish at her Texas concert, Austin City Limits.
Hey, I am so sick and tired of old men. Men in general. Sorry. But old ones, especially.
All right, so she's off to, there we go. Sick and tired of old men, but men in general. Let's just keep going. I'm trying to chop it down so we're not playing like 45 seconds and then immediately get demonetized or get like a copyright strike or something.
Shut the up about our body. Shut up. And I have to be honest with you that when they made it a law, I almost didn't want to do the show. So, because I wanted to.
So, what's so heartbreaking to me is the crowd is loving this.
Yeah.
The crowd is going crazy as she shouts, "Get the F off of our bodies!" Blah! Manifestation.
I don't know, but I think Morgan finds Billie's display of anger and frustration more amusing than alarming. But she's got to pretend she thinks it's very serious business because, you know, that is her brand. She is a conservative Christian. She has to be pro-life.
That's not funny.
I'm not trying to make light of that, of whether it's a truly demonic manifestation, but
But you are making light of it by making this video.
the way she is so passionately saying, and she'll go on, but don't stop me from killing my baby.
So what Billie actually said, I am so sick and tired of old men in general, sorry, but old ones especially. Shut the up about our bodies. Oh my God, shut the up. And I have to be honest with you that when they made this a law, I almost didn't want to do this show because I wanted to punish this place for allowing that to happen here. But then I remember it's you guys that are the victims and you deserve everything in the world. And we need to tell them to shut the up. Do this. And then she raised her middle finger. My body, my choice. Never once did she say, I want to kill my babies. Never once did she encourage anyone to have an abortion. She was expressing frustration over a world that allows people who will never even be affected by it to pass laws governing someone else's body. After how many decades? We're still on this?
And now she's going on to say, I almost didn't do the show here in Texas.
Punish this place.
Oops, let me run it.
When they made it a law, I almost didn't want to do the show. So, because I wanted to punish this place for allowing that to happen here. But then, I remembered that it's you guys that are victims. And you deserve everything in the world.
It's just so, like, how is that going to punish them? That's going to punish you. That's going to punish your entire crew for canceling a show. That would punish the people who paid hundreds of dollars for your tickets, like she said.
Yeah, like she literally just said she realized she'd be punishing the wrong people.
It's just so ridiculous to me that artists, musicians try to make that stand. And if you want to make that stand, okay, but make it, like, please understand, you're not punishing the government. They don't care what you do.
Well,
you don't have to come and perform in Texas.
Here's the big thing. She said that you all, I was wanting to punish Texas, then I realized that you all are the victims. The women of Texas are the victims. What about the babies?
Right.
There is nowhere in the United States, Paul, that infanticide is legal.
What
Wait,
about
so
the babies?
the victims are the people who can't go get their babies aborted. Nothing about the babies.
Yeah.
You all are the victims. Do you guys see like the shocking irony?
It's crazy.
And we need to tell them to shut the up. Do this.
She's holding her middle finger out. Tell Texas to shut the F up. It really, like, seeing obviously celebrities respond to the Texas stuff. Have you been surprised at all by, I'm guessing you've kind of seen some of the responses, and we made a video on it talking about who were some of the celebrities.
Mark Ruffalo, Reese Witherspoon.
Popular celebrities, they're just hammering Texas. You just have these giant rallies and protests. I don't know, like, I guess I have been kind of surprised.
Why? They are using their platforms to speak against Texas, and you are using your platform to speak for Texas. So where does the surprise come in?
Because obviously Morgan and I are over here just like, you know, championing, giving applause, saying like, praise God for what Texas is doing. I hope more states will get behind this. But then you see like,
Is Paul surprised there are people that feel differently than he does?
It almost feels like the majority,
Sorry, Paul. The majority of Americans are in favor of keeping abortion legal.
but obviously the people in opposition, the loudest voices, the people that are the most passionate and hating what Texas is doing because it's taking away their rights to kill their baby, the loudest voices are often the loudest. I don't know how that goes, but like you just feel like you're seeing so many people that are like attacking Texas. Here she is saying, I didn't want to do my show in Texas until I realized you guys were the true victims. To me, it is shocking.
Yeah, and now I think she's about to start screaming, my body, my effing choice, my body, my effing choice, with her middle finger up to the crowd and her having her whole audience flip the bird off or whatever.
Flip Texas off, and behind her on the screen it says, bans off our bodies.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. Like, we've got to, like, that's the thing that she doesn't understand, that these people in the crowd are, I'd say a good majority of the people in the crowd are not understanding. It's not your body.
Really? So, whose body is it then? Does that mean that if you get pregnant, you forfeit all right to your own body?
We don't care about what you do with your body.
But you do, because that body is the one that sustains the body you're so concerned about. And without the one, there cannot be the other.
It's the child, the life within it, that doesn't have a say, that doesn't get a choice. Like, why don't you, it's so confusing to me. Why don't you care about that little woman, that little man?
Okay, so first, please don't call a fetus a little man or a little woman. And second, this might be shocking, but I do care, Morgan, but my concern will always be for the people that are already here on this earth than the potential people. And I have a really hard time taking people like her seriously when their concern is all about abortion. I have never heard Paul or Morgan talk about healthcare or a higher minimum wage or affordable housing or anything that would make people's lives easier and lessen the need for abortion. I don't think that every pro-lifer has to adopt every child up for adoption to be pro-life, but I do think they should focus on something besides making abortion illegal. Because I'd be willing to bet that that is really all they think they need to do, just make abortion illegal. Sure, it'll drive it underground and people will die because of unsafe abortions, but at least they'll be able to rest easy knowing that such a thing is no longer legal in their country.
And, like, although Billie Eilish says she hates men, so, like, which I just wonder how many men were at that conference just feeling, or at that concert feeling super awkward, like, Billie, but I love you.
So Billie never said she hated men. She expressed a wish for men to stop talking about women's bodies and to stop making laws governing women's bodies. And I would be willing to bet that any man at a Billie Eilish concert would understand where she was coming from.
Especially if you were an old man at that concert. You probably were looking like, am I about to get jumped?
Man, and look, that kind of mindset of I hate men, I hate old men, whatever, like, I
Except she never said she hated men, Morgan. So the path you're about to try to go down is completely pointless.
know where that mindset comes, and it usually comes from having some type of trauma, some type of sexual abuse, going through some type of harassment. And so I am very sorry for, and I know that Billie has talked about this and written songs about being, like, taken advantage of by a man, an older man. And so, like, I hate that for her. And, like, this is why I feel like, you know, I could, a vast, very large majority of women could carry that mindset, and some do carry that mindset. And, like, I just praise God for, like, the freedom that he brings, because, like, man, the crap that I've dealt with, like, I could carry that, I could hold that, and I have, like, at times been like, men suck, and it's just like, wait, no, like, there are some men in this world who are very nasty and need to be held accountable for their actions, but just to carry that, it's just really sad. So I just want to recognize that I know that Billie has been through stuff, and I'm very sorry for that, and I hate that for her, but man, the hating men and not...
Except telling men to stop making laws about women's bodies is not the same thing as saying, I hate men. So you just went on a whole speech for no reason. I guess that was kind of a plug for her religion. Morgan could carry all that baggage, but she gave it to Jesus, so she's fine now.
Getting it that it's not about your body. It's literally not your body. You do whatever you want to your body. I don't know.
I know Morgan and Paul are trying to have kids, so there's no possible way she doesn't know about all the things that pregnant women are told not to do, or to do in moderation, or to only do with doctor approval. So she does care what a pregnant woman does with their body, because what she does could affect the fetus.
Yeah, it seems like the lid, it's just, I guess, ever since Roe versus Wade, and there's plenty of more continued studying that I should do on this because it's such a relevant topic, but it just seems like there's just been this Roe versus Wade, so Planned Parenthood and the push for more and more abortions, easily accessible abortions.
Yes, we want easily accessible abortions for people who want to have one.
Literally, New York under Governor Cuomo was plastering, like, literally abortion celebrations on the side of a building. So literally, like, people are celebrating abortion.
Editing Kit jumping in to say that the abortion celebrations Paul is talking about is the One World Trade Center's Spire. being pink for one night.
You got Billie saying, let us have abortions, get off, do not put any restrictions on us.
He still never said that, and I do find this interesting coming from, wasn't Paul an anti-masker?
And however many words, you're hearing what she's saying. But it's almost like now in more recent times, you're seeing the more, I guess whatever you would call the Texas 6-week abortion ban, you're seeing more kind of crackdowns of states and of cities saying, no, like we're going to stand up to this, seeing more pro-life judges on the Supreme Court. And suddenly it's kind of like when the bear is sleeping, he's fine. But as soon as you start poking the bear comes awake. It's like the bear is kind of coming awake. They've had their way, so to speak, just free abortions.
Free abortions?
Millions of babies getting murdered, millions of babies in the womb getting murdered, and suddenly it's like they're seeing some of these rights taken away in defense of the baby, and suddenly we're seeing this bear come to life. We're seeing the vitriol, like we're hearing with her, get your hands off our effing body, you effing men. Mm-hmm. And it's like when they were having their way, they were fine. You weren't seeing as much of this now, and I'm just like, are we just going to see, is this next year?
Is Paul really trying to tell us he's surprised that when you try to take bodily autonomy from people, they get upset and speak out?
I believe the Supreme Court is going to have some big decisions coming up. It could get ugly. So I guess I just want to be a voice on social media saying, I'm not going in, I'm not giving in, I'm not going with the tides that are vilifying Texas. Mm-hmm. I'm not.
Well, I'm shocked.
I'm saying, Texas, thank you. And God, please open up blind eyes and hardened hearts to see this for what it is. Soften hardened hearts. And let's have more states follow along and be bold and stand up for the defenseless.
Yeah.
Let's just finish the clip as much as I almost don't want to, but I think it's just her giving the finger and encouraging her audience to give the finger.
My body, my choice. People move there.
I don't know. To me, like I said this at the beginning, it felt like an 8-year-old little girl up on stage throwing a fit, and it was just really weird and creepy. And the reason why I feel like it is okay to call it demonic is she's literally screaming about how they won't give us our way to murder babies. Ugh, I'm so mad.
You all are the victims. You guys were the victims.
Yeah, it's just so wild to me. And that's demonic. And it's like, I think someone maybe even commented in here, like, it's not, like, our battle is not against flesh and blood. Our battle is not against Billie Eilish or any of those celebrities who are out there preaching abortion is great.
No one is saying abortion is great. It's a medical procedure.
It's against the powers, principalities of the darkness. Like, it's against the devil, like the enemy. And I just feel like that image and, like, just example of Billie Eilish up there on stage throwing a fit is literally like Satan throwing a fit. Like, he is livid.
Doesn't it say in John, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have come to give life and life to the full. Mm-hmm. Literally, we have life, the life giver of Jesus, living inside of Christians, hopefully, but then you see the darkness, the complete opposition. I come to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
And so I feel okay saying that this is demonic and leaving that in the title.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, guys, just sit here and think for a minute. Like, we're literally talking about the murders of millions of babies. Like, that's insane. It's insane.
No one is talking about murdering babies, Morgan, and calling a fetus a baby does not make it so.
And it is so sad to see so many young people. Billie Eilish is young. She has been in this Hollywood world for a little while now.
What is she, like 19 now?
I think so. And, like, brainwashed into, and I don't want to say, like, she's brainwashed. She doesn't think for herself. Like, she obviously thinks for herself, but, like, she grew up in this very worldly, very selfish atmosphere of Hollywood of, it's all about me. It's what I want. I'm always the victim. I need to get what I want, blah, 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 blah. And if I don't, I'm going to get up on stage and scream and throw a fit.
Considering Billie doesn't live in Texas, I don't think that was for herself. And people of all backgrounds are pro-choice.
And it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. What did she say at one point? She told her audience, you deserve everything in the world. And that's like a small thing that we kind of like looked past because of the just in your face pro-abortion stances. But it was like, even hearing that is coming from just a saturated, I've been in Hollywood, I've, had everything. And I'm not saying she hasn't gone through struggles. I'm sure she has. Yeah. We all go through struggles no matter how much money we have, fame, whatever.
Right.
Maybe she's gone through more, whatever. But this is kind of her worldview. You all, you should have the right to abort the baby grown inside of you because you deserve everything in the world. And then you pull back to a Christian perspective.
Or the Paul and Morgan perspective, which is you deserve everything before you're born, but afterwards,
It's like, who are we, oh man, that God should be mindful of us, David said in the Psalms. Who are we? And yet God still chooses to be mindful of us and love us. We're not deserving. We're not deserving of Christ dying on the cross for us. Like, anything that we have is a blessing from the Lord because we did not deserve it. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for the ungodly. And yet here she is with her worldview
He does realize that not everyone is a Christian, right?
kind of going hand in hand with her pro-abortion. You all deserve everything in the world. You deserve it. You deserve to not let any man give any restrictions to you about what you should do with your body.
This is rich coming from someone who's anti-mask.
Even though it's not her body, it's a living individual being. It's a baby inside of her.
All right, so since Paul and Morgan seem a little confused as to what a baby is, here's a picture of me 6 weeks after I was born. That is a baby. A baby and a fetus are two different things. And also, what happens to said fetus without the initial body? If there is no body to be in, then what happens? Why does the body within a body get more consideration and privileges than the body it's in that is actually going through life, protecting it, nourishing it, having thoughts, feelings, hopes, plans, dreams, fears? Why? What is the one that is not yet capable of thinking taking precedence over the other?
So it's a lot, and just seeing again, like, it's so appalling and sad, sickening to see this all out like warfare and demonization of Texas for standing for life.
Oh, is that how you stand for life? You ban abortion? It's that easy?
That's why I'm honored to be able and just like taking up almost like a let's stand for life and use the platform that we have.
Alex says the hypocrisy of people to cry about abortion being legal when their own mother chose life for them.
That is hypocrisy. Hashtag hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Hypocrisy. The practice of claiming to have moral standards or beliefs to which one's own behavior does not conform. I am currently alive and very much pro-choice. Please explain how that makes me a hypocrite. Or are they operating under the assumption that pro-choicers would quickly become pro-life when it comes to their own life? Because I can assure Paul and Morgan, and anyone listening, that I would much rather my mother have the choice to give birth to me rather than having no choice. And if she had chosen not to have me, I would never have known because I wouldn't exist.
Yeah, they say men are not allowed to have a say, even though it took a man to produce the baby that's growing inside of the woman. They say men can't have a say, but yet they're allowed to have a say when they were given the chance, the right to life, the chance at life. How about the women that were aborted are the ones that get a right to say, oh, wait, they can't speak? I mean, it's twisted. It's twisty.
So first, the person undertaking the risk is the one that gets final say. And yes, pregnancy is a risk. It's a medical event that can go horribly wrong and also have lifelong side effects. And a fetus or embryo can't have a say because they can't think yet. And also, I mean, what if it did say, abort me, I don't want to live, this world looks like crap? Would you be okay with it then? Somehow, I think not.
J Love says, I can't agree with y'all guilt tripping women into having an unwanted child who will suffer later on from not being wanted. So you would rather we murder that child because it's possible that they won't be wanted. I can tell you, I want children, and there are millions of other women and men and couples out there who want that child. And so let's stop focusing so much on getting abortions and focusing on fixing how crazy expensive it is to adopt a child, fixing how crazy and how many loopholes you have to go through to get to adopt, to foster care, whatever. Like, let's focus on that rather than killing the children off, because that's what we've been focusing on since the 70s.
So it's great that you want kids, Morgan, but adoption is a solution to parenthood, not pregnancy. Those are two separate issues. And if you want less abortions, you should start advocating for comprehensive sex ed, affordable and accessible birth control, and a higher minimum wage to start with.
So I think that's an absolutely ridiculous thing. It's not guilt tripping. It's a consequence of a woman having sex outside of marriage, or not even that. It's a consequence of sex. And if you want to view it that way, I personally do not view having sex and then getting pregnant as a consequence, but we can look at it that way for a second.
It's a byproduct.
It's a byproduct. It happens. If you have sex, you might get pregnant. There's a 50-50 chance there, and you're going to have to deal with that consequence or that byproduct.
Abortion is a way of dealing with that consequence, Morgan.
And murdering it is not and should never be an option.
Have they ever expressed this much concern for children already born?
Yeah, it's like you say, and I appreciate you being on here. I respect your positions. I respect you as a person being on here, even if I strongly disagree with your positions or your opinions. But to say, like, you guys are guilt-tripping a woman into not killing her baby that's in her womb. Would you say that if we were, like, a mom of a 3-year-old, a mom of a 5-year-old? Please, don't go kill your 5-year-old. Would you say, stop guilt-tripping that mom?
Yeah.
If they are too exhausted and are having trouble taking care of that 5-year-old, don't really want it, they're not in a good place in life, now their dreams are being squashed because they're having to care for a 5-year-old and it's costing a lot of money and dreams, would you say that to us? Don't guilt trip the mom if they want to kill the 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So since Paul and Morgan are yet again confused, here is a picture of me as a 5-year-old. Very different from a fetus. And again, this is when adoption would be a solution. After birth, you're no longer dealing with pregnancy, you're dealing with parenthood. Adoption is a solution to parenthood.
Amy Ray, thank you for your super chat.
Thank you.
People also love to use the incest/rape argument when that only accounts for like 1% of all abortions. It's a weak argument. Yeah, that's a touchy topic, obviously, but I agree it is an interesting thing that people like to use. Like it's like 99% of the reason people get abortions when really it's only 1%.
No one has ever said that that is 99% of the reasons someone has an abortion. And 1% seems like a small number until it happens to you or someone you care about. What loving, joyous Christians these two are.
I would like to look at the specific like statistic, but yeah, it's a tiny percentage.
1%.
It's a tiny percent. Okay, is that literally what?
I'm pretty positive.
It's around 1%, and yet people love to go back to that when their reasons for getting an abortion is not that. It's very likely.
Yeah.
The reason someone has an abortion is no one's business except their own.
Jennifer Walsh says we are made in God's image, not tapeworms or parasites. Which the push for just the pro-abortion arguments, Planned Parenthood, and all of these, a lot of them try to belittle and dehumanize. Thank you. The baby growing inside of you.
It's a parasite. It's a fetus. It's a clump of cells.
Right.
It's not a human. Huh? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me because it's literally like all these people that are pro-choice are literally alive. So it's just not really fair. You don't get to be pro-choice about abortion because you literally are alive. You got to be here. So.
Okay, I don't get Morgan's reasoning here. You have to have kids because you were born? Yes, I get to be here because my mother chose to give birth to me. And I would much rather be here because my mother chose to have me rather than her having no other option. And in my opinion, saying otherwise is sociopathic. All right, so we have the attempts to tug on the heartstrings that talks about all the millions of babies that were not born. And then we have a sprinkling of religion. And then we have this weird attempt at a scientific argument that the body within the woman is not hers. And that just seems like a slippery slope that we maybe don't want to go down, saying that something inside someone isn't actually part of their body. I mean, a fetus is literally connected to the woman. That way, she can sustain it. How is that not hers? Anyway, I have a few more thoughts that I wanted to share. There is no body inside a body without the woman. And why would you give a body inside a body, dependent, in fact, on that larger body for its own survival, more rights than the body it depends on? Why would you give more rights to a corpse than a thinking, feeling person? Their goal seems to be to get these babies born and then they're on their own. No celebrity is preaching that abortion is great. They're saying that people should have a right over their own body. I do enjoy that these Christians are totally fine banning abortion and offering nothing to help the aftermath. Oh wait, Morgan thinks the cost to adopt should go down. They are all sympathy for a fetus, but when it comes to actual human suffering, crickets. They're really embodying Pastor Barnhart's statement. Also, just because someone is pro-choice doesn't mean they would automatically have an abortion. So many appeals to emotion, I don't know, their lack of empathy and their lack of foresight for some reason really surprises me and disappoints me. But it is Paula Morgan, so I should probably be used to being disappointed. Anyway, that is it for this video. Please feel free to share your thoughts on this video below. Also, please feel free to hit the like button. Both things help me out in the algorithm. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy my content. I have my socials linked below. Instagram for the cute cat pictures and Twitter for the tweeting. Anyway, I hope you have a great day and I will see you in the next video.